There is a certain quality in a person that cannot be learned, purchased, or imitated. It is the quiet resonance of being fully present with oneself, where thoughts, emotions, and actions exist in harmony. This presence is not about drawing attention through flamboyance or charm, nor is it measured by the approval of others. Instead, it arises from an inner alignment, a way of living that communicates authenticity without effort. Those who encounter such a person sense it immediately, even if they cannot articulate why. There is a subtle gravity, an invisible force that makes the presence feel comforting yet compelling, like a gentle lighthouse cutting through fog. People are drawn not to the mask or the performance, but to the core that glows with integrity and awareness. It is this alignment between the inner life and outward expression that creates a magnetic influence, capable of awakening interest, admiration, and even deep emotional attachment. Authentic presence has a peculiar effect on human perception. When someone moves through life with sincerity, their emotions resonate more clearly, and their actions carry weight beyond the immediate moment. This resonance does not demand recognition. It is inherently self-contained, yet it inevitably impacts others. Observers feel seen without words, understood without explanation. There is a quiet invitation in this presence, a sense that it is safe to lower one's defenses, to allow oneself to be open and vulnerable. This is the origin of the intense pull people often feel toward someone with such authenticity. The mind may search for tangible reasons, kindness, intelligence, beauty, but the attraction is ultimately rooted in a deeper recognition, the unconscious admiration for someone whose inner life is whole, coherent, and unguarded. When a person embodies this alignment, they become a mirror of possibility, showing others what it means to exist fully and harmoniously in one's own being. Magnetism born of authenticity is also paradoxical in its subtlety. It is not forceful, demanding, or manipulative. In fact, the absence of effort amplifies its effect. People are drawn to what they recognize as real because it contrasts so sharply with the superficiality that surrounds them. The aura of someone who lives authentically speaks of courage, of self-respect, and of trust in one's own inner guidance. Others experience this magnetism unconsciously, feeling a sense of inevitability in their attention and admiration. There is an almost mystical quality to it, as if the presence itself communicates a silent truth, that being oneself is both sufficient and remarkable. This silent yet powerful magnetism can awaken profound emotional responses in those who witness it, fostering attachments that seem to emerge not from deliberate action, but from the simple, unwavering act of being real. The person does not chase connection. The connection arrives naturally, drawn by the gravity of their authenticity. Human connection is often drawn less by words and more by the capacity to truly feel and respond to another's inner state. Emotional responsiveness is the subtle art of perceiving what lies beneath the surface, of sensing the unspoken currents of thought and feeling that exist in the quiet spaces of interaction. Those who develop this depth are not merely sympathetic. They resonate with the other person's emotions in a way that is reflective, validating, and affirming. When someone is able to mirror your hidden fears, unspoken desires, and vulnerable moments, it produces a sense of being fully understood, a rare experience in a world filled with distractions and superficial exchanges. This sensitivity is not passive, nor is it manipulative. It is a conscious engagement of the psyche that recognizes another's humanity. In such moments, the observer experiences a profound acknowledgement of their inner life, an experience that can awaken admiration, fascination, and deep attachment, because the connection transcends ordinary social interaction and touches the realm of emotional intimacy. The depth of emotional responsiveness fosters trust and comfort, creating an invisible bridge between souls. When a person listens not just to the words, but to the pauses, the sighs, and the silences, they are communicating that the entirety of the other's existence is worth witnessing. This creates an unspoken bond, a resonance that feels almost instinctual, as if the heart itself has recognized its counterpart. The effect of this connection can be magnetic. People are drawn to those who provide space for their own emotions to exist without judgment. This is more than empathy. It is the recognition of the complexity of another's inner life. By allowing oneself to meet another's depth with presence, the responsive individual becomes a mirror in which the observer can see themselves more fully. This reflection validates the unconscious, nurturing the sense that they are being embraced as a whole being, flaws and all. Emotional depth also amplifies fascination because it awakens something dormant within the observer. When someone demonstrates a genuine understanding of emotional complexity, they signal that life is experienced with awareness, courage, and subtlety. This recognition is often unconscious, yet it triggers admiration, intrigue, and attachment. People are instinctively drawn to those who navigate their inner world with clarity and compassion because it mirrors the potential for growth within themselves. It is not merely acts of kindness that create attachment, but the capacity to perceive, resonate, and reflect the emotional currents of others with integrity. This kind of responsiveness is rare, and it produces a gravitational pull that is difficult to resist. In the presence of such depth, admiration grows organically, attachment deepens naturally, and the observer feels an almost inevitable bond, a sense of being understood at a level they may not have known existed. There is a remarkable strength in showing oneself as truly human, in revealing the cracks and uncertainties that lie beneath the surface. Authentic vulnerability is not weakness. It is the courage to expose one's inner reality without pretense or disguise. When a person allows themselves to be seen in moments of doubt, fear, or imperfection, they create a space where others feel safe to do the same. This openness signals trust and confidence, not only in oneself, but in the capacity of others to witness one's authentic state. People are unconsciously drawn to such vulnerability because it resonates with their own suppressed or unspoken experiences. When vulnerability is genuine, it communicates a profound honesty that is rare in everyday interactions. The observer senses that this person is not performing or pretending, but existing in alignment with their truth, which awakens admiration, fascination, and a natural emotional attachment. Vulnerability operates as a bridge between individuals, a subtle but powerful connection that transcends superficial familiarity. When one person expresses their genuine emotions, it encourages the other to lower defenses, to engage without fear of judgment or rejection. This reciprocity of openness cultivates trust, making emotional bonds feel inevitable and deeply rooted. The magnetism of authentic vulnerability lies in its contrast with the common masks people wear to protect themselves. In revealing imperfections, fears, and uncertainties, a person demonstrates courage and resilience, inspiring others in ways that ordinary accomplishments cannot. The observer experiences a sense of recognition and alignment, as if they have encountered a mirror for their own inner struggles. This reflection fosters admiration and often stirs an emotional response that feels both immediate and profound, forming the foundation for a bond that is compelling and lasting. The impact of authentic vulnerability is magnified by its subtlety and sincerity. It is not performative or forced. It is a natural expression of being attuned to one's inner world. People who embody this quality do not seek to manipulate or attract attention. They simply live in accordance with their truth, allowing their openness to be witnessed organically. This kind of transparency communicates psychological courage and integrity, qualities that the unconscious mind of the observer perceives and values deeply. The sense of emotional safety and recognition that arises can trigger attachment, admiration, and fascination, often described as an intense attraction or emotional pull. In essence, vulnerability that is genuine acts as a magnetic force, drawing people toward the individual not because of external traits, but because it reflects the rare and profound experience of encountering another human being in their complete, unguarded, and authentic form. There is a hidden layer in human attraction that often escapes conscious awareness. People are drawn to others not only for what they observe, but also for what their own unconscious mind projects onto them. Unconscious projection occurs when one sees in another person qualities, traits, or ideals that exist within themselves but remain unrecognized or undeveloped. This can include courage, compassion, creativity, or even unresolved desires and dreams. The individual on whom these qualities are projected becomes, in a sense, a canvas for the observer's inner world. The intensity of attraction that arises from this process can feel instantaneous and overwhelming, as it resonates with the deep, often unacknowledged parts of the psyche. In many cases, the observer may not fully understand why they feel such fascination or attachment, because the magnetism is rooted in a subtle interplay between conscious perception and unconscious recognition. Unconscious projection can magnify feelings of connection and admiration, giving them a sense of inevitability. When someone exhibits confidence, authenticity, or depth, the observer unconsciously interprets these traits as confirmation of their own desires and ideals. This process is rarely deliberate. It unfolds in the quiet spaces of perception where judgment is suspended. The person being admired may be unaware of the intensity of their influence, yet their presence triggers profound psychological resonance. It is the alignment between what is seen and what is unconsciously longed for that produces emotional intensity. The result is an attachment that feels both personal and fated, a connection that seems larger than ordinary experience. The unconscious mind, sensing the reflection of hidden ideals, amplifies the emotional response, making fascination and admiration appear irresistible and almost mystical in nature. Projection also explains why intense attraction can sometimes feel disproportionate to observable actions. The individual may simply be living authentically, pursuing their purpose, or demonstrating emotional depth, yet these qualities ignite a response that feels extraordinary to the observer. It is not necessarily the external behavior itself, but the meaning assigned to it by the unconscious mind that creates the powerful pull. The admirer is drawn into a psychological dialogue with their own inner world, with the observed person acting as a mirror of latent potentials, aspirations, and unfulfilled longings. This invisible dynamic fosters a unique intensity, one that can feel both enchanting and inevitable. Understanding the role of unconscious projection allows us to recognize that some attachments are less about the external person and more about the inner recognition of what they awaken within us. It is a subtle, invisible force that shapes human fascination and emotional bonds in ways that appear natural yet operate on profound, hidden levels. There is a subtle force in human attraction that operates through the unknown. Mystery captivates the mind because it invites curiosity, contemplation, and engagement. People are naturally drawn to what is not fully revealed, to the depths and nuances that lie beneath the surface of behavior and expression. When someone carries an inner life that is rich, layered, and not immediately comprehensible, it evokes fascination and attention. This is not about deceit or manipulation. but about maintaining a sense of personal depth that cannot be fully grasped in a single encounter. The allure of mystery lies in the promise of discovery, in the idea that there is more to explore, understand, and experience. Observers feel an invisible pull toward those who retain this quality, sensing a hidden complexity that sparks imagination and emotional engagement. It is this interplay between seen and unseen, known and unknown, that makes someone seem captivating and almost magnetic. Mystery and intrigue create a psychological tension that encourages investment of attention and energy. When a person does not reveal everything at once, it challenges the observer to look deeper, to engage more thoughtfully with subtle cues, expressions, and actions. This process is compelling because it mirrors the natural human desire to understand, to seek meaning, and to uncover hidden truths. The individual who embodies mystery does not need to perform or coerce. Their allure emerges organically through depth, subtlety, and the conscious cultivation of an inner life. Observers often sense that there is a world within this person that is untapped, waiting to be discovered, and this sense of potential draws them closer. The emotional attachment that develops under these circumstances is often intense because it is fueled by curiosity, admiration, and the unconscious hope of connection with something rare and profound. The power of intrigue also lies in its ability to evoke reflection and resonance within the observer. Mystery encourages projection of one's own hopes, ideals, and inner fantasies, which intensifies emotional response and fascination. When a person appears layered, private, or enigmatic, the unconscious mind fills in the gaps, creating a sense of significance that goes beyond observable actions. This enhances the perception of depth and magnetism, making the individual appear larger than life in the emotional world of the observer. Mystery is therefore not just an absence of information, but a presence of depth, subtlety, and resonance. It provides a psychological invitation, urging others to engage, explore, and connect in ways that are profound, voluntary, and enduring. Those who embody this quality naturally draw people toward them, fostering emotional bonds that are compelling, meaningful, and often irresistible. In essence, mystery and intrigue act as a silent, invisible magnet, creating fascination and admiration through the quiet power of what remains unseen. Humans are drawn to patterns that resonate deeply within the unconscious, patterns that reflect timeless archetypes present across cultures and generations. When someone embodies qualities that echo these archetypal forms, whether strength, wisdom, compassion, or mystery, they awaken something primordial within the observer. This response often feels instinctive, as if the person carries a familiarity that cannot be explained by ordinary experience. The attraction is amplified because it transcends the surface level of behavior or appearance. It reaches into the symbolic and the universal. People are not merely responding to the individual in front of them, but to the archetypal resonance they trigger, a reflection of ideals, dreams, or figures that exist in the deeper layers of the psyche. In this way, admiration and attachment feel immediate, intense, and meaningful, as though they are tapping into something eternal. Archetypal resonance operates quietly yet profoundly in shaping human fascination. When someone mirrors qualities associated with heroic, nurturing, or transcendent patterns, the unconscious mind of the observer recognizes it as familiar and significant. This recognition can evoke powerful feelings of respect, trust, and even devotion because it aligns with deep-seated psychological structures. The person being observed may simply live authentically or pursue their path with clarity, but their presence evokes an echo of something larger than the present moment, a timeless template of human experience. These archetypal echoes often stimulate projection, admiration, and longing, making the emotional connection feel fated or destined. It is the interplay of observed reality and unconscious symbolism that generates a compelling sense of attachment and fascination. The influence of past archetypes also explains why certain people captivate us without apparent reason. It is not only their actions or personality traits, but the resonance with symbolic forms that exist in the collective unconscious. The observer feels drawn to their presence, sensing a hidden familiarity and meaning that surpasses conscious understanding. This is why someone can inspire admiration, fascination, or even a sense of devotion without consciously intending to do so. Archetypal echoes awaken a recognition of possibility, depth, and universality in human experience, connecting the observer to the profound patterns of life itself. By embodying qualities that resonate with these enduring symbols, a person naturally becomes magnetic, not through effort or calculation, but through alignment with the enduring rhythms and archetypes of the human psyche. In this subtle, invisible way, the pull of attraction is amplified, creating connections that feel powerful, timeless, and inevitable. Emotional balance is a quality that draws attention without effort, a quiet magnetism rooted in inner harmony. Those who have navigated the complexities of their own psyche, who have acknowledged and integrated their emotions rather than suppressing or denying them, exude a stability that is immediately sensed by others. This balance is not the absence of struggle or imperfection. Rather, it is the capacity to move through life with awareness, presence, and composure. Observers are drawn to this integration because it communicates resilience and wholeness, a rare quality in a world often dominated by reactive emotions and inner conflict. When someone demonstrates emotional coherence, others unconsciously recognize a model of what it means to be complete, inspiring admiration, trust, and an almost magnetic attraction. Integration of the self enhances human connection because it allows for authenticity in interactions. A person who is emotionally balanced is able to engage with others without projecting unresolved conflicts or oscillating unpredictably between extremes. This creates a sense of psychological safety for those around them, inviting trust and openness. Observers are naturally drawn to this presence because it provides a mirror of potential stability within themselves, a reflection of what they may aspire to achieve. Emotional balance communicates reliability, empathy, and depth, qualities that awaken respect and fascination. It is not simply kindness or competence that elicits admiration, but the alignment of mind, heart, and soul, producing a subtle yet powerful gravitational pull toward the individual. The integration of one's emotional landscape also amplifies the impact of vulnerability, empathy, and authenticity. Those who have confronted and reconciled their internal contradictions are able to respond to others with clarity and compassion, creating profound emotional resonance. Observers sense this integration unconsciously, experiencing an attraction that goes beyond superficial qualities. The presence of someone who has achieved this alignment suggests possibility, the possibility of deeper connection, of mutual understanding, and of encountering a person whose inner life is coherent and fully realized. This harmony evokes fascination because it signals mastery over one's inner world, not in a domineering sense, but in the quiet, steady assurance of someone who has embraced all aspects of themselves. Emotional balance and integration, therefore, operate as a silent yet compelling magnet, inspiring deep attachment, admiration, and a natural desire to remain close to such a person. There is an undeniable allure in a person who pursues their purpose with clarity and passion. This magnetism does not stem from external accomplishments or recognition, but from the visible commitment to a path that aligns with their inner values. When someone moves through life with intention, dedicating themselves to what feels meaningful, their energy communicates vitality, authenticity, and focus. Observers sense this alignment and are naturally drawn to it as it awakens admiration and respect. The passion of a purposeful life acts like a quiet beacon, signaling that this individual is fully engaged with their existence and is willing to invest their energy, time, and heart into something beyond the superficial. It is this inner drive, more than any superficial charm or external feature, that captures attention and evokes fascination. Purpose and passion inspire connection because they reflect the depth of the individual's inner life. People are instinctively attracted to those who demonstrate clarity